Yeah, I mean, if people want to see me as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, that's totally fine. My job is just to go back to the gym, and keep on improving, and hopefully, keep on showcasing my skill set. The finishes and knockouts. For me, I always tell it's the way Matt Hume raised me, even when I was an amateur as a fighter. Like, I'll win my fights, and then the first thing we do is we'll go back and we'll look at the film. He goes, "You did that wrong. You did that wrong. You could have done that better." And then, so it kind of grew on me. So even now that I'm at the pinnacle of the sport and, knocking out people who are considered the best fighters in the world, it's just when you go through that, for 7 years, it's almost like military style. It's like, okay, there was another fight, go home, relax, and then get ready for the next one and keep on improving because there's always another person who's going to come try to take what I have.
And tonight, going in there, fighting a guy like Benavidez is nasty, and he's the one that usually knocks people out. And in this fight, Benavidez was doing great right up until he got knocked out. He was very aggressive. I thought the first time he was trying to load up too much and looking for that knockout punch instead of putting punches together. And today he looked good, which you know how bad he wanted it, and he knew he was getting the second opportunity. So it just makes Mighty Mouse's win that much bigger.
Dana's paid me a great compliment by saying I'm the type of guy that believes I can beat anyone and that I'm ready to fight anyone at any time. And he knows that. Everybody knows that. I'll fight Godzilla. I'll fight King Kong. I don't care. I'm a little delusional about stuff even.
Unfortunately, we don't have them signed.
But, hey, I've done my part. I had a really rough year the year prior. It was a long year for me. I had one fight, one loss, had a big layoff, broken ribs, personal stuff with my sister and everything else, and it just feels great to be in the win column with 4 big wins, 3 finishes, 1 decisive decision, and having a good time, man.
Faber's in like this Vitor zone right now. Like the older he gets, the better he gets. I mean, seriously, if you look at how good McDonald really is, and people were so excited for this fight, he literally shut Michael down the entire fight and finished him. It was a great performance. And as far as Mendes goes, the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds is the Chad Mendes that we know. He went in there and fought with the flu, cold, and every time you fight, especially when you face that type of adversity, imagine going in and fighting with flu-type symptoms or even a cold. It's something you can't even imagine. I have a lot of respect for both of them, and yeah, they're definitely right there.
Did this feel like a special performance to you, or was it just kind of like another day at the office, or did you feel sort of on another level tonight?
It felt like a special performance for sure. I've been having a lot of special performances. After the Brow fight, I just went back to the fact that I just love what I do and reminded myself of that. I actually was kind of rope-a-doping in the media tour, though, when everyone's asking about his hands. I really think he has gifts with his hands, and he's impressive. But, I mean, every single time people talk about a guy that's going to outstrike me, Eddie Wineland, Cruz, I don't think Cruz outstruck me. I put him on his butt a couple times, and he never hurt me with anything. Barrow's been knocking guys out. I don't really feel like I got beat up by him. I've had just some little mishaps, and I was kind of lulling him into the fact that, oh, yeah, I'm the wrestler and he's the striker, but I knock people down, dude. I'll put someone out, and anybody wants to step up, let's do it.
Can you go back a little bit to that loss to Henan Brow? I mean, I think a lot of people expected you to sort of, maybe not just fade off the map, but that was 3 title losses that you had in 2 years, basically. And that can be a difficult thing to come back from. It can be just mentally, just tough to get back on the horse. And you've never seemed to have a problem with that. Why do you think you're immune to that? And do you just hide it better than guys? Like, did you go through a period where you were a little bit down after that loss?
Oh, no. I'm not a type of guy to dwell on things or feel bad for myself. I can always find something positive and know that, a win or loss isn't necessarily a defining thing for me. It's something that, my confidence comes from having great parents and having a great life of working hard and getting results. So I don't care about a loss necessarily. And I learned a long time ago, I had a year in college where I lost a bunch of matches in overtime, and the next year I won a bunch of matches in overtime. And the difference was I felt great when I won, and I felt like crap when I lost. And I was like, I threw that out the window a long time ago. It's about putting your all out there, understanding that, I get to make my own destiny in this world, and I'm not going to let anyone stop me. So that's the mentality I always have. It's a little frustrating just because, I mean, what people don't understand about the WEC was that was the UFC for the lightweight fighters. And so that's what it was brought to me as, with the same, Dana was my boss, Lorenzo, it's all the same matchmakers, all the same fighters that are in the UFC that are in now. You have people like Dominic Cruz who, like to say stuff like that to get under my skin. But the truth is, the only difference between the first time I fought him and the second time I fought him is one time he squeaked out a decision, and the first time I finished him. And like I said, because there's rules in mixed martial arts, he's still alive today. He tapped out and let him go. So, that's the difference. That's the only difference. So if you guys want to look at it like that, so be it. But the bottom line is, I've been 11 years in this sport now, at the top of the heap, just by being a workhorse. And these guys know, my positive attitude is something that can't be stopped.
And just real quickly for you, Dana, do you know what I'm referring to? I mean, have you noticed it at all, I guess, on Twitter or just stories, I guess?
People are looking for stuff to talk about,
Yeah.
dude.
So what happened was, it got this thing. I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, these guys are just looking for excuses to give Urijah Faber a title shot." A couple years ago, that's what people were saying. You can't deny it now. You can hate, you can dislike the guy, you can do whatever you want to do. You can't deny him now. I mean, the kid just looks better and better, and it is what it is.
My loss is to Jose Aldo with a decision. I lost to Brow. I broke my rib 2 minutes into it. I lost to Cruz when I thought I beat him. I lost to Mike Brown with a broken hand. I mean, what do you guys want from me? It's 145 pounds. I'm ready to take on whoever, man. Dana knows that. Everybody knows that. I was going to mousetrap him is what I was saying. I made that term up. But it's basically the guy snaps at an opportunity to throw a big combo. So I was going to fake and feint, make him get out of position. The fights that he went to a decision, the last 6 fights, 2 of those he went to a decision. There were smaller guys that had a Muay Thai background. They were keeping him honest by throwing high kicks. So it's all stuff I wrote down in my little logbook, when I'm writing a game plan. And I wanted to mousetrap him, throw some high kicks, look for opportunities, and then catch him with a big overhand or a big hook, and then submit him. I really had a great showing today. I put together everything I wanted to.
I had a bad sinus infection a few weeks ago and just didn't want to take the antibiotics. I mean, we all saw what happened with Aldo when he started taking those for his fight. It definitely messes with your performance. And I was just hoping and praying that would clear up before. And it started to get better, and then, probably about a week ago, just started getting bad again and actually started moving down into my lungs. So, I mean, after that first round, I could just feel it. Just felt heavy on my chest. But, I mean, not making any excuses, Nick Lentz is a tough dude, He's definitely a top 10 fighter in the UFC, and you're not always going to go out there and get the finish. But, I did feel great in the beginning, and I think if I would have been able to feel that way just like I did with the Guida fight, I probably could have got the finish. But you never know. So, yeah, I mean, I just found a way to win. I think it's just that champion mentality. And, I've been an athlete my entire life. So I've been through a lot of adversity and just kind of fought through tonight and got the W. So I got to be proud with myself, even though I wasn't 100% happy with my performance. So, we knew that Nick was the type of guy that, he could get hard. I watched a lot of film on this guy for this camp and seen him get hit with some big stuff, hit the canvas, get right back up and keep fighting. So, we knew I just had to be smart if I did rock him, if I hurt him. And I did in the first round. And, I was trying to take his head off. But, I just got to be smart with a guy like that. Nick Lentz is a tough dude. I mean, I honestly believe he'll beat a lot of the guys in the top 10 in the UFC. He's big, he's strong, and he keeps coming. He can take a punch. So, I just, like I said, I had to be smart. I wasn't feeling 100%. I just had to find a way to use, my complete mixed martial arts skills, which is, all my wrestling, my striking, everything. And I feel like I put it together. I just, obviously didn't get the finish. So, like I said, I'm upset a little bit. Just, I feel like I could do a little bit better. But, I got the win. I got to be happy. I watched my brother here, Urijah, put on one of the best shows I've ever seen him fight. I mean, this guy, every time he gets in the cage, just impresses me. So, it sucks for Joe and it sucks for Danny, but, we just go back to the drawing board. It's been a hell of a year for Team Alpha Male. We still got Dwayne here. We're making huge improvements, and I'm excited to see what's next for us next year. So, bring it on.